Hello everybody, good evening. It's Tuesday, is it Tuesday? Tuesday? I lose track. I lost track when it was lockdown, and I've never really come out of lockdown in my mind really. It's all still a bit odd out there, isn't it? So welcome to Tuesday night, and we're looking at what is going on this week in the news. Well, the beginning of this week in the news, it's all very contradictory, isn't it? Someone says here he's a renowned epidemiologist, he's good with bugs, and his name's Dr. Larry Brilliant. I changed that name I think he might be American, and I think he's part of the World Health Organization. Well, I don't know, you can have a World Health Organization because there's different diseases in all parts of the world. The World Health Organization are not going to spend much time on the common cold here in England, is it? But now they tell me there's some real awful disease turned up in Africa. Like a sort of a thing with a funny name, and they're trying to stop it spreading. Fruit bats are spreading it. Thank God we ain't got fruit bats here in this country. We all have to boycott fruit. That's it now. That's it. We'll all have to die of scurvy again. Anyway, renowned doctor Larry Brilliant, he said only 15% of the world has been vaccinated. Well, we can guess where them 15% is. It's all the countries like us that have a sort of civilization. There's other countries that are not quite as fortunate as us, so don't go to them all. I don't believe you should go abroad anyway. Don't go abroad. What do you want to go abroad for? It's beautiful here, look. You'll have a beautiful brown complexion in a week. Rust. Okay, right. He says, right, we have another another bloke that says we've got this sussed. So who do you believe? The bloke called Paul, I don't know what he is, Paul Hunter. He come from Norfolk. He's a professor from Norfolk, and so he's a great friend of Jake, our editor there. Jake tells me that Mr. Paul Hunter knows what he's talking about. Don't you worry about that. Anyway, he says that it's going to be around forever, and we should stop counting the amount of cases that are turning up, which is quite a good point, but the amount of people going to hospital. And not only count the amount of people going to hospital, count the amount of people that are going to hospital with secondary conditions, and count how many people are coming out of hospital. Much better. We don't get to hear that, do we? We just get to hear about the poor unfortunate sods that died. And apparently, and you know the word round the campfire is, if you get run over by a tractor 2 days after you've tested positive for COVID, you get down as a COVID death. And I think the only way to stop being run over by a tractor is stop going to Jeremy Clarkson's diddly squat farm, because there's a good chance of you being run over there. Okay then, well, I'm going to carry on now with Ustream. Oh, before we go and sit by the whatever, waiting for our A-level results to come along, I've got to tell you, yesterday I got doorstepped, right? You know when people knock at your door, by 6 guys, ex-parachute regiment chaps on motorbikes, and they look like the sort of motorbikey type, if you get my drift. And they are motorbiking all the way around the country, to visit the graves and the memorials of the people that fell in the Falklands. And they're going to finish off their trip next year by actually going to the Falklands 40 years after the event and visiting the graves of those people too. It's a fantastic thing. And they're doing it to raise money for a charity called SAMA 82, SAMA, South Atlantic Medal Association. I was involved in it years and years ago. Me and a doctor called Rick Jolly, now deceased, bless him. He was the one that was treating everybody. He was running the team down in the Falklands. They put together this fantastic association that became a charity. Denzel Connick, who you can see on Cenotaph, interviewing various people in his show Pull Up a Sandbag. And the SAMA 82 chaps, it's now being run by a great guy, and he's asked for us to see if we can help these guys that are motorbiking around the whole of the country visiting graves. You can go to their website, SAMA 82, go to their website and try and help, or you can have a look on Cenotaph. For those of you that understand that my TV station, Ustream, has a channel on it called Cenotaph. And the great thing is, if you don't want to subscribe to Ustream, you can go direct to Cenotaph. So go to Ustream, look at the funny thing. Instead of saying log on, you mean buggers, you don't want to pay, just scroll down to Cenotaph and click on that and you can see it free. And the reason it's free is because there's information on there for veterans to get help, and also for civilians if civilians suffer from PTSD and all these other things. So go to Cenotaph and have a look at these chaps that are motorbiking around England. And while we're at it as well, let's have a quick mention, and perhaps you can help this guy. He's an ex-SAS chap called Ian Rivers, and he is rowing, listen to this, he is rowing from New York to the Scilly Isles, okay? That's against the everything. And he's rowing the whole stuff. And if you go to Row Sentinel, ROWSENTINEL.com, Row Sentinel, see what you can do to help this guy row that. That's got to be something to do, isn't it, eh? My word. Wonder where they go to the toilet. Okay, then let's crack on with Ustream. So if you want to, join up, come and just watch the rest of what I'm about to say. I'm going to be talking now for 4 hours. So you've only got to suffer 3 minutes on YouTube. But please press the subscribe button on YouTube and think about joining us on Ustream. Or if not, have a look at the Cenotaph channel and support some of our veterans.